You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, food insecurity has more than doubled in the 4 states. One local company wants to change that.
Also, Carthage's economic development takes a hit as a multi-million-dollar expansion project is forced to hit pause.
And we've got those mostly cloudy skies right now. We'll eventually see partly cloudy skies and then some storm chances later today. Look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. Just after 7 o'clock on this Thursday, April the 24th, getting closer to the weekend, just 1 hour at a time. It's probably better to measure it like maybe 1 day at a time.
I kind of like the 1 hour. I don't mind that
one hour at a time. No, you don't want to do 1 minute or 1 second at a time. You're going to be counting a long time.
Well, Ghetto Tacos teamed up with Arvis Million to combat food insecurity among students in the 4 states.
Now, with Missouri ranking 16th worst in the nation for food insecurity, Lonnie Walton stopped by to see what this local company is doing about it.
I talked to the owner of Ghetto Taco. He says he once experienced food insecurities. Now he wants to make a change.
Honestly, I was homeless twice in my life.
Marcos Renterias is the owner of Ghetto Tacos. He says food insecurity is no stranger to him.
I know what it feels to be hungry, so that's kind of where I feel like, part of my heart goes to this.
And he's not the only one. Kim Hoover works for the Carthage School District. She says a lot of things have changed when it comes to food insecurity in this area.
Our numbers since 2012, our numbers of kids that we feed has more than doubled.
Hoover says while students are in school, it's easy for them to get fed, but the weekend is the problem. That's why a percentage of items sold from Ghetto Tacos will stay in this community.
Weekly, we pack about 350 weekend food packs for students pre-K through 12th grade, and we send those home to students who have been identified as food insecure.
The way she gets this process done is through Arvis Million Meals, which helps raise money to fight food hunger in the 4 states. In Joplin alone, they support 11 different food banks. Scott Silvers from Arvis Bank says they take pride in their work.
These donations stay local in the community. They help our friends, our neighbors, everyone that we see from day to day.
Community members are proud to call Carthage home.
There is a really nice sense of community in this area, giving back.
It's an honor to see our local organizations.
Ghetto Tacos is not just about, serving tacos. It's about the community coming together.
And if you didn't get the opportunity to participate in this process, leaders tell me there'll be more opportunities in Pittsburgh and Webb City next month. Reporting in Carthage, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Arvis Million Mills will travel to other parts of the 4 states next month.
You can support this cause online by going to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. We have provided a link in this story to help out. And unfortunately, food insecurity is a serious problem. And for other folks, it's easy to overlook when you've got food on the table to think there's plenty of folks out there that don't.
Yeah, it's great to see organizations, though, helping out.
Absolutely. And we've got more rain on the way, but not quite yet. Let's take a look outside downtown Pittsburgh. We've got mostly cloudy skies out there this morning. We'll eventually go partly cloudy as we head into the afternoon. You see those clouds also. It's hard to tell, but I assure you those are clouds on the MoDOT camera at 20th and Rangeline in Joplin. The future tracks showing those partly cloudy skies by this afternoon. We're dry, but then after about 2-3 o'clock, east of the 69 corridor, could get a few isolated pop-up showers or storms. Not expecting anything severe, but we could have a few of those isolated storms. Now, once we start to lose the heating of the day, those storms will go away, and then later this evening, around 9-10 o'clock, we'll get thunderstorms rolling into southeast Kansas, and those could be strong to low-grade severe. And right now, the main concerns are with the possibility for some small hail, perhaps some gusty winds as well. So we'll keep a close eye on that for you as we head later into the evening. Temperatures pretty close to where we were yesterday. 57 in Joplin, 58 in Pittsburgh, and across the region we've got the upper 50s. We have a couple of low 60s, Parsons and Bentonville. Yesterday we had a few more low 60s, but still not a bad start to the day. Our highs today, very similar to yesterday as well. Upper 70s, maybe even a couple of low 80s, and again east of 69. A few pop-up storms possible into the evening. We'll have the thunderstorm chances increasing overnight tonight into Friday, and we're still watching the potential for severe weather next Monday and Tuesday. And we'll go over those details with you in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, the Missouri Dental Board files a petition to pull the license of a Joplin dentist following a drug bust. The board says the move comes following the arrest of Dr. John H. Joseph for suspected involvement in a drug deal. The petition states that the board believes Joseph presents a serious danger to the health, safety, or welfare to patients. Now, if granted, Joseph will no longer be able to practice dentistry. You can read a copy of the full petition on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Authorities arrested Joseph in March after an officer witnessed him and 2 others engaging in a drug deal. A search of Joseph and his vehicle turned up more than 12 grams of fentanyl. Authorities say further investigation indicated Joseph had been traveling to Tulsa, where he would purchase fentanyl to deliver to the Joplin area. Authorities charged Joseph with trafficking drugs in the first degree and unlawful use of a weapon. The Grand River Dam Authority opened the floodgates on the Pensacola Dam. At the direction of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, 4 main spillways and 2 east spillway gates opened to release some of the excess water. By some, we mean more than 52,000 cubic feet per second. Thanks to KOAM's Shannon Becker and Fly Home Aviation in Grove for the bird's eye view. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, Schreiber Foods puts their expansion plans in Carthage on hold. KOAM's Melissa Alexis spoke to the CEO of Carthage Economic Development Corporation to find out more about the decision.
Jeff Meredith is the CEO of the Carthage Economic Development Corporation, and he says he received notice that Schreiber Foods is putting their expansion in Carthage on hold last week.
The critical individuals at the city and the local utility know so that they could potentially pause or delay any of major purchases they were planning to do as part of that project themselves.
Schreiber Foods announced their expansion in Carthage in December. The project is expected to bring over 100 jobs and boost economic development in Carthage, something the mayor of Carthage welcomes.
Carthage has a long history of being very supportive of industries coming into town and staying in town for a long time. We sit strategically, essentially at the crossroads of I-49 and I-44.
Schreiber Foods is already a huge partner here in Carthage, Missouri. I believe they have approximately 1,500 employees at I want to say 4 facilities here in Carthage. So they're a great community partner today. Now, obviously, the additional growth of somewhere between 150 and 300 jobs would be huge for Carthage, Missouri.
Meredith says Schreiber Foods cited uncertain economic conditions as the reason for pausing expansion.
Given some of the uncertain economic conditions that we all see on a daily basis, it's not surprising. Interest rates are fluctuating regularly, the stock market's fluctuating regularly. And just from a national perspective, I've seen that other major corporations are also having pauses.
Both the mayor of Carthage and the CEO of the Carthage Economic Development Corporation remain optimistic that the project will eventually resume.
It was disappointing for us, but ultimately, again, this is a pause. They didn't say they're not looking at Carthage, they're not doing any of those things. And frankly, given some of the uncertain economic conditions that we all see on a daily basis, it's not surprising.
Reporting in Carthage, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
The expansion would include construction of a new production facility of more than 100,000 square feet. And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, Emily Frankowski from Connect to Culture is here to share insights on their exciting May performances. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from Riverside Park in Oswego, Kansas. Emily Frankowski joins us this morning to share what's in store for May from Connect to Culture. Good morning, Emily. Happy to have you with us. May is just around the corner. I can't believe it. You've got a lot of exciting things happening, not only in May, but just summer in general. Yeah. I can't believe it's just around the corner. Talk to me about, actually, you have an event coming up in April 1st.
Yeah. We snuck one in.
Right, yes.
Because it's really on the cusp of May, but we've got a wonderful show coming up this Saturday called the Sean Johnson Big Band Experience. And now Sean Johnson is an Emmy winner and singer-songwriter in his own right, but he has a big band experience. So if you like jazz and that big band sound, you know, he is so talented and also fills his band with the most wonderful music educators. And just, we actually have one person in the band that's sourced locally that I know at least. They're keeping it kind of hush-hush. But you will recognize someone who's going to be playing in the band on stage.
How cool is
and
that?
It's also going to be our legislative thank you. So we're inviting legislators to come see what Connect Culture does. And it's also a memorial for the late Senator Ron Richard, who absolutely loved crooner style music. So it's going to be a lot of fun for everyone in the family. So if you do like that big band sound, it's kind of jazz pop. So you're going to hear some of those classic Frank Sinatra, Michael Bublé-esque songs, but he puts his own spin on it, and it's very contemporary. So that's a lot of fun coming up this Saturday.
It sounds like a blast. And talk to me about another event you're having May 17th, the Mike Super Magic and Illusion.
Yes, this is our season finale for 24-25. And Mike Super, you might have seen him on America's Got Talent, Phenomenon. He won that show, and he's even on Penn and Teller's Fool Us, and I believe he fooled them with his magic. And so he's really a family-friendly magician. There's going to be a lot of participation. People will come on stage, be part of these magical acts.
That's so cool.
And so this is going to be the perfect way to kind of put a pin in that season and then get us ready for our summer season as well. But this is going to be, you know, like I said again, the whole family would enjoy this performance. And we actually have never had a magician at Connect to Culture.
Really?
This will be our first time.
Well, what a great magician to have for your first one. Now, like we said, summer's just around the corner. You're kicking off with 2 incredible events, starting with the Liberty Celebration on June 28th.
Yes, this is our annual celebration of Independence Day, the Saturday before, you know, so July 4th is then. We do this on June 28th or the Saturday before. We've had a lot of notable musicians be a part of it. This year, we are going to focus all on bluegrass. So we're going to announce those bands on May 1st. But we're going to have 3 local bluegrass bands. It's going to be very fun for the whole family, you know, very affordable ticketing. We're going to have food trucks that are there. Just want everyone to come outside on the Leggett and Platte Green and enjoy, have a picnic with us.
It sounds like a blast. And then, of course, Jomo Jammin' happening July 19th.
Yes, our music festival, Jomo Jammin' Music Festival. We're going to be bringing these back. We're going to also announce our lineup May 1st. This is going to be a really fun one. Usually we do it every Saturday, but this year we're kind of reimagining it, making it feel more like a festival. It's going to be July 19th, starting at 4 p.m., gates open at 3, and it's going to go all until 10 p.m.
That's incredible.
And we'll have food trucks, like I said, lawn games. And this year, it's going to be free of charge.
Oh, wow.
We're going to go back to our roots with Jomo Jammin'. We originally offered it free of charge. We want everyone to be able to come and experience live local music in Joplin.
That's fantastic. You have so many wonderful events coming up. If people want to find more information about those events, purchase tickets, where can they do so?
Yeah, they can go to connecttoculture.org. That's the best place to learn about all of our performances coming up or anything arts and cultural happening in the Joplin area. Or they can come on down to the Cornell Complex, which is our home alongside Spiva, 2 different organizations under one beautiful roof. So come and experience our performances or anything that's going on in the Joplin arts.
Absolutely. Well, Emily, as always, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:18 now on this Thursday morning. Again, late tonight into early tomorrow morning, we do have the chance for a strong or low-grade severe thunderstorm out there with perhaps some small hail and gusty winds. It's something we're going to keep an eye on for you. And this is what it looks like as we take a look at the future track. Into the afternoon, we're going to start to go partly cloudy across the region. We have thunderstorms out to our southwest and out to our west this morning. Those are expected to die out, but that energy will be left behind. And eventually, once we get past about 2-3 o'clock east of 69, we're looking at least the possibility of some isolated pop-up storms out there. Not anticipating anything severe with that activity. It won't be again until about 9-10 o'clock. We're expecting a thunderstorm complex into the western parts of our area. So just outside Yates Center in Fredonia, and they will continue to push to the east overnight, and so that's where our better window for a strong or low-grade severe storm is going to be. But as that complex reaches I-44 about 3 a.m., I-49, it dies out, but then right behind it, about 4 a.m., another complex develops, and then again, a strong or low-grade severe storm will be possible, but we're not expecting anything significant. Again, I know the future track, all that red on there, usually at this time of year, that means something nasty, but we're just looking at thunderstorms with some pretty heavy rainfall. Those will continue to roll east by 7. We're Stockton, Monette, Cassville, and really east of the I-49 corridor. And then behind that, about 9, 10 o'clock, another group of thunderstorms rolls in. Not expecting anything strong or severe with that activity. Those first 2 rounds will kind of eat up a lot of the energy here, but we'll have those chances for some thunderstorms. By noon, you can see it's right along and in between the 69 and I-49 corridors as we head into Friday afternoon. That clears out. We begin to clear out, get a bit of a northerly breeze back behind. And that's going to be it until we get into late Saturday, where we could see some additional scattered storms out there as we head in. Sorry, that's Friday. My apologies. This is Saturday. And we could see an isolated storm or two as we head into Saturday. As we get our morning underway, again, we have mostly cloudy skies now. Eventually, they'll begin to clear out a bit, become partly cloudy. Low 60s out there to start, low 70s by 11. A mix of partly to mostly cloudy skies into the afternoon, east of 69. Those isolated storms, highs upper 70s and low 80s. Upper 50s, low 60s tonight. Scattered storms, especially once we reach 10 o'clock and later. Then we head into Monday, Tuesday, and early Wednesday. And this is what we're looking at. There could be some issues getting these storms started. That's why right now the storm chances are somewhat low. But if we get any thunderstorms by the afternoon and late evening hours on Monday into Tuesday, any storms we do get could easily become strong to severe. It's just a matter of whether or not we're going to get those storms. That's what we've got to watch, because the environment will be set up for severe weather, but there's still some questions as to what kind of storm type we're looking at, whether we're going to get a long line of storms or if we get individual storms. Redevelopment's expected by Tuesday evening across the area, and then that could also be strong to severe. So here's our severe risk for Monday night into Tuesday morning, with that probable near just north of Kansas City, the possible through the rest of our area, and then that risk will begin to shift to the east as we roll into Tuesday evening and very early Wednesday morning. So a lot we want to keep an eye on. 70s for just about all of us all the way through near the 80s Sunday, Monday, and a little cooler by next Friday. Let's check your forecast. We'll be back with more right after this.
While most people enjoy the company of traditional pets, there are a few people who tend to lean towards untraditional pets. Now we have Blake and Megan Wooten, organizers of the Forest States Reptile Expo, with us this morning to share what you can find when you attend, and also brought some friends with them as well. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
So introduce me to our new friends here.
This is Lucky, the bearded dragon.
He is one of our rescues that we took in, one that was a pet that we actually found outside. This is Flower. She is a juvenile reticulated python. She has the possibility to get big in the end.
Okay. Yeah, beautiful. They're both so interesting. I mean, I just was like in a trance watching them before we came out. Talk to me a little bit about this Forest State Reptile Expo. Just kind of the reptiles that will be on display and what people can expect.
We're going to have lots of different pets there, everything that you're going to need, from enclosures to bedding to food, everything in between. Even if you take home a new pet, we'll also going to have a USDA facility gentleman there that's going to be doing animal interactions with everything from lemurs to kangaroos to even some alligators and things.
Absolutely. Very exciting about all of that. So talk to me a little bit about, for folks who, might be interested in, taking home a reptile, but don't know maybe all that goes into purchasing one.
The best thing is to do your research. Of course, nowadays on the internet, there's lots of different avenues you can go on to. But research, make sure that you're going to give everything the animal needs to thrive. Again, there we are going to have everything from enclosures to the bedding to the food, everything in between to help you get your new animal home and have them healthy and happy.
Will there also be any educational or more interactive events as well there?
There will be. We're going to have the Arkansas Reptile Rescue there. That'll be there Sunday, doing some conservation on local species and also some exotics. And then we're also going to have interactions again with Klondike Kids. That's going to tell a little bit about conservation and also some different animals that will be there.
Fantastic. Talk to me about the details about this event now. It's at the Newton County Fairgrounds. From when and where will it be?
It'll be April 26th and 27th. We do have a VIP where you can come in at 9 a.m. and actually come in an hour before general admission. General admission is from 10 to 4 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. We are going to have a couple food trucks there. That way you don't have to go anywhere if you need some food or just want to hang out for the entire day. There is an admission. General admission is $10, VIP is $15, and then we also have kids admission, which is $5, and 4 and under are free.
Fantastic. If people want to find more information about this event or more about these reptiles, where can they do so?
Facebook, we've got us on Facebook at the 4 States Reptile Expo. Look on there for any updates. We do plan on having later shows. That way we're going to have one in the fall and also this one in the spring each year.
Wonderful. Well, Blake and Megan, thank you so much. And thank you to Flower and Lucky as well for being with us this morning. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
The 4 States Most Watched News starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAO Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:30. I'm Elise Snowy. The Crawford County Health Department held an event for future child care providers. The orientation session provided information for those interested in becoming a licensed child care provider in Crawford and Bourbon counties. The session covered information on the regulations pertaining to establishing a legal daycare service, specifically in-home daycare and non-residential daycare.
There is absolutely a huge need for childcare. Crawford, Bourbon, Cherokee, Neosho, the whole state is in a childcare drought right now, especially here in southeast Kansas. Infants especially, parents are finding having a hard time trying to find infant care for their kiddos.
Licensed providers undergo a background check and are required to have certain first aid, nutrition, and safety classes. Well, the Girard Public Library was the scene for Conservation Day, an event featuring fun and education for area kids. Events included a soil drainage activity, charades, a pollution river activity, and you heard this one right, an edible soil activity.
It's really neat to see the kids pick up on new information, and by making it fun and incorporating games, it does help the kids retain that information better, and hopefully they find a way to help conserve and help our earth.
The Crawford County Conservation District hosted the event. Residents in southeast Kansas will soon have a new location for healthcare. The Coffeyville Regional Medical Center Foundation received a $300,000 grant to go towards building an almost 16,000 square foot primary care clinic. Now, for the grant provider, James M. Cox Foundation, the effort serves as a way to benefit the community.
At Cox, it's important to us that we are connecting our communities to the things that matter most. And that is not just internet, it's also healthcare, it's access to education, it's sustainability and conservation. And today we're really focused on that healthcare piece of it and giving people an opportunity to have a great experience, sometimes when it's, the most important time of their life.
Well, a new primary care clinic will serve not only Coffeyville, but more than 6 rural counties in Kansas. The new clinic should be complete by October of this year. Now let's head over to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got mostly cloudy skies out there this morning, and that is thanks to some showers and storms that are off to our west. Those are expected to die out, and we'll eventually start to see partly cloudy skies. Of course, that's live look downtown Pittsburgh, live look from MoDOT camera 20th and Range Line in Joplin. You can also see those cloudy skies out there. But Future Track still going with those storms out to the west, dying out. Skies will then clear as a result, and we'll have partly cloudy skies by this afternoon, and then after about 2-3 o'clock, east of 69, could get a few pop-up showers or storms, not anticipating anything severe with that activity, but it will initially primarily be confined to the eastern half of our area. Then, late tonight, we're expecting thunderstorms to start rolling into parts of southeast Kansas, and some of those could be strong to low-grade severe with some hail and gusty winds as the primary concern with those storms. So we'll keep an eye on it for you, but thankfully not looking at any kind of significant severe weather overnight tonight into tomorrow. 57 in Joplin right now, 59 in in Pittsburgh, and most of us still into the upper 50s. We've got some 60s, Neodesha, Parsons, Bentonville, and Stockton. So again, very similar to yesterday, and our temperatures today very similar to yesterday. Upper 70s out there, maybe some low 80s. And again, if you're east of 69, a few pop-up storms possible, otherwise partly cloudy skies. Now, as I mentioned, we have our thunderstorms increasing tonight into Friday, and we still have a severe risk as we head into next week. Break down all those details for you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, elementary students in Neosho get a chance to learn about DNA yesterday thanks to the help of a Kansas City University professor. KOAM Samantha Walker joined the learners as they experimented.
Deoxyribonucleic acid. What? Who can say that again? Don't worry about it.
You may have learned about DNA with the textbook, but how about a strawberry? That fruit is the exact tool Dr. Joseph Williams with Kansas City University uses to help teach the complex topic to students.
We're going to extract DNA from living or recently picked strawberry fruit in a very similar way that we extract DNA from human cells if a genetic test was ever ordered by a physician in a research laboratory.
Students at Rise Elementary in Neosho had the hands-on experience participating in an experiment, learning how to isolate DNA from the fruit using household items. It's a process similar to what researchers and doctors might do every day.
The best part about this with the kids is their exploration and their curiosity. And that same skill is what we're trying to enhance and what we're trying to encourage at the medical school level as well too. It's not a different skill. It's something that translates up and down the continuum of education.
With dozens of students excitedly extracting DNA all on their own, the experiment is inspiring the next generation of scientists and learners.
It was awesome. Science is important to learn because it teaches you a lot of stuff about the earth.
Dr. Williams says he hopes students learn to be curious, ask good questions, and learn how science can relate to everyday life.
When we hear about physicians who end up in the workplace in our communities now, oftentimes that passion starts at a really young age. And the best physicians are the same ones that are curious, they're compassionate, and through the lens of science we can explore many of those same things. We want to try to foster that the best we can.
Reporting in Neosho, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Dr. Williams has taught young learners all around the area. He says it's some of his favorite work. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Assisted living seniors in Ireland are receiving a new type of therapy from an unexpected animal. I'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from Riverside Park. In Consumer Watch this morning, a federal agency says scammers are taking billions of dollars away from Americans. The FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center's annual report shows scammers stole a record number of $16.6 billion last year. The agency says the number is up 33% compared to 2023. The majority of losses reported were caused by fraud, but complaints regarding ransomware rose by 9%. The European Union has fined Apple and Meta in the first enforcement of its landmark digital competition law. The penalties for breaching the Digital Markets Act come amid attacks on the EU by the Trump administration for what it sees as the bloc's unfair targeting of U.S. companies. Apple was fined $570 million for breaching the Act's App Store policies, while Meta $228 million over its collection of personal data for targeted advertising on its platforms. Both companies plan to appeal. A coalition of Democratic states banding together to push back against the White House's tariff policy. It comes as the administration considers softening its harshest import tax on China. Fox's Anna Elipoulos explains.
No matter what Orwellian doublespeak the White House uses, tariffs are taxes.
Arizona, one of a dozen states Wednesday filing a joint lawsuit against the Trump administration over its use of tariffs.
The damage is not theoretical. It is happening in real time. Prices are going up. Markets are reacting. international partners are pulling back.
The case filed in the U.S. Court of International Trade challenges the legality of President Trump's executive orders that impose tariffs unilaterally without going through Congress. New York Attorney General Letitia James, who represents one of the states in the coalition, saying in a statement, quote, "The president does not have the power to raise taxes on a whim, but that's exactly what President Trump has been doing with these tariffs." The legal challenge comes after California filed its own suit last week. Despite the doubters, the president insists his strategy is working.
And in the end, I think what's going to happen is we're going to have great deals.
As business owners try to chart a path forward, many have voiced concern that the constantly evolving nature of the tariffs makes it difficult for them to plan ahead.
Uncertainty with respect to ultimately what the rules of the game will be, that is something that keeps me up all night.
President Trump this week said he's looking to ease the current 145% tariff on China, but that it won't come off entirely. Anna Eliopoulos, Fox News.
That's a look at Consumer Watch. Let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, coming up on 7:45 now. On this Thursday morning, a reminder, we do have a low risk for some strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms late tonight into early tomorrow morning, with hail and winds being the primary concerns with any of those stronger storms. And this is what it looks like heading into the afternoon on Future Track. So by noon, I know we've got mostly cloudy skies out there. Right now, that is courtesy of some showers and storms off to our southwest and off to our west. Those are expected to die out before they get here, and once they do, the clouds are expected to begin to break up along with that. We should be partly cloudy through the mid-morning and into the afternoon. Now, if you're along and east of the 69 corridor, after about 2-3 o'clock, some isolated pop-up showers or storms will be possible. Not anticipating any severe weather with that activity, but it will be possible out there. And through most of the evening, anything we see is expected to be really confined east of 69. By about 10 o'clock, though, we start to see thunderstorms, more organized thunderstorms, rolling into our western counties, so just outside Yates Center and Fredonia into Elk, Greenwood, and Chautauqua counties. This is the first window of the potential for strong, potentially low-grade severe thunderstorms. These will race off to the east, and by about 2-3 a.m., they make the I-49 corridor, they die out, and they're gone. But then right behind it, at about the same time these are dying out, by 3 a.m., another batch of storms will develop, and these will be a little more widespread, as you can see, by 5 o'clock in the morning from Nevada, Fort Scott, Parsons, Coffeyville, down to Bartlesville. And these could be strong, potentially low-grade severe as well, with hail, gusty winds being the primary concern. These will continue to push through the area through the morning. By 7, Stockton, Gwinnett, Cassville behind it. Not much initially, and then we get another batch of storms about 9-10 o'clock in the morning. Now, those first two batches are going to take up a lot of the energy, so we're not really looking at much. We're not expecting any kind of severe weather at all from these thunderstorms, but this next batch will roll through. By noon, it's just rolling to the east of the 69 corridor, right along I-49, and then by about 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, it's gone. The rest of our Friday looks pretty good, and that's why we don't at this point have any areas highlighted for severe weather for Friday, and we could see some storms late Saturday, but again, no severe weather areas highlighted out there either. Cloudy skies, as you can see, a little bit of sunlight getting through in Joplin. 62 to start, into the low 70s by 11 o'clock this morning. Our highs today eventually making the upper 70s, maybe some low 80s across the region. South winds 5 to 10. We'll fall back into the upper 50s, low 60s tonight. We'll get those thunderstorm chances increasing after 10. And then we want to talk about next week. There's still some variables in play here. We're looking to possibly have a pretty strong cap in place across the area as we go into Monday. And that could limit or even stop thunderstorm development, but there's the chance that some storms could push through that cap. And if they do, any storms we see by late Monday evening, overnight into Tuesday, could be strong to severe. That line will push through, at least those storms will push through into the early morning hours on Tuesday, and then we're expecting redevelopment by Tuesday afternoon with more strong to severe thunderstorms possible late Tuesday evening into the overnight and very early Wednesday. So here's what that looks like. Here's our severe risk across our region as we go into Monday night into Tuesday morning, and then by Tuesday it does begin to shift east, but still includes a good portion of our region. So a lot we want to keep an eye on as we head through the weekend and into the start of next week. 70s from here to there, near 80 Sunday, Monday, and we'll have a little cool drop for next Friday into the upper 60s. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Well, medicine can come in many forms, and it's not always found at the pharmacy.
Over in Ireland, senior citizens are getting a new type of therapy straight from the farm. Tina Kraus has the story.
Joe Phelan is ready for another day on the farm in Ireland. It's where he finds happiness.
Come on, Winston. Good boy.
Herding the alpacas he adores.
You're so fluffy. Good boy.
Who do more than just graze the fields.
That's it.
His wool-covered companions stroll through the halls of a local nursing home, offering residents a whole new type of therapy. Staff say the alpacas are more than a novelty.
Oh, well done, boys.
They give many elderly residents a connection to the past.
Just to see the smiles on the faces, and I think it triggered a lot of memories for people that would have grown up on farms, that would have been farmers.
With his newfound calling in animal therapy, 64-year-old Phelan has become known as Alpaca Joe.
They get to feel them, they look into their big, huge brown eyes, which just are so relaxing. And they might hear him humming, alpacas hum.
Yes, we love you too.
I think as well the feel of the wool brought back a lot of memories to people, and especially to the women that do the knitting.
Phelan says alpacas have a unique gift for creating calm and lifting spirits. A furry form of therapy that for some is the perfect prescription.
The alpacas aren't just regulars at the nursing home. They visit local special needs schools too, and Phelan says teachers say it relaxes students and improves their concentration.
Alpacas are pretty cool.
Yes.
I did not know that they made that sound.
I
And
know.
now I know that they make that sound. And we got rain and some thunderstorms. We know what that sounds like. Now the good news is we're not expecting anything significant as we head into the overnight hours tonight, but we do have a low risk for some stronger storms with some small hail and perhaps some gusty winds across southeast Kansas. Into the afternoon, we're expecting partly cloudy skies across the area, and then some pop-up storms east of 69 starting, say, around 2-3 o'clock this afternoon. They'll be confined really east of 69 through most of the evening. They die out when we lose the daytime heating, and then overnight tonight, showers, thunderstorms roll in. So that's that first round. By about 3 a.m., reaches I-49, dies out, but also at 3 a.m., simultaneously, another round of storms builds in. And again, they could be strong with to low-grade severe with some small hail, gusty winds. That round rolls through by 7, and then about 9-10 o'clock, we'll get one more round of scattered storms, but not anticipating any strong or severe thunderstorm activity with that. We'll have another look at your forecast and the news you need to know right after this.
And here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The Missouri Dental Board files a petition to pull the license of Dr. John H. Joseph, a Joplin dentist, following a drug bust. The petition states the board believes Joseph presents a serious danger to the health, safety, or welfare of patients. If granted, Joseph will no longer be able to practice dentistry. Schreiber Foods is putting their expansion plans in Carthage on hold. The expansion would include construction of a new production facility. Schreiber Foods cited uncertain economic conditions as the reason. The expansion is expected to create 150 new jobs in Carthage. And Ghetto Tacos and Arvis Million Meals teamed up to combat food insecurity among students. A percentage of every taco sold stays in Carthage to support its community. Arvis Million Meals will travel to other parts of the 4 states next month. You can support this cause online. You'll find a link in this story on our website, KOAMNewsNow.com.
And again, we could have a few pop-up storms east of 69 from 3 p.m. through about, say, 6-7 o'clock this evening. Otherwise, partly cloudy, upper 70s, some low 80s, south winds 5 to 10. By 10 o'clock tonight, though, scattered showers, thunderstorms increasing in coverage back into the upper 50s and low 60s, and some of those could be strong to low-grade severe with some small hail and gusty winds being the primary concerns. A few rounds of scattered showers and storms through the first portion of our Friday. Then we'll start to clear out a bit. A few more scattered storms Saturday, Sunday, and we're keeping an eye on at least the possibility of strong to severe thunderstorms from late Monday through possibly even into early Wednesday morning of next week.
Alrighty, well, Corgi dogs raced head-to-head last Saturday in an annual Corgi Derby in Scotland. This year's event saw 4-year-old Corgi Juno race to victory.
Now, first launched in 2022 to mark Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee, the Corgi Derby was created to celebrate the breed, which was the late monarch's favorite, according to the organizers. So, very cool. Corgis are interesting little things.
They're cute. They're adorable.
They are fluffernutters. They are indeed. Yeah. Well, thank you all so much for joining us this morning. We'll be back at noon with more news and weather.
Have a great rest of your morning.